Today is Tuesday, February the 9th, and this is going to be another short video. We're just going to talk about the stocks that we have that are working because the market was down just a tiny bit today. The McClellan oscillator, as we expected, dipped below the overbought line. This is normal. This always happens when we're up in this area. Sometimes we don't always come back, but we are so close this time. We just came back a little bit under, and I wouldn't be surprised if we came back and we just pulled back a little bit more, but then there's always the possibility of going forward because there's some really good things happening with the economy. Let's just take a look at FinViz and see what the actual numbers were. Advancers led decliners, not the 3-to-1 ratio we saw yesterday, but almost 2-to-1. The S&P did not make a new high. It bounced off of the 127.2 again today and just finished this little doji. Now sometimes these dojis, if you go back and you look for dojis like that, you can see where they form, here's one here, a sign that we're going to pull back. Now this was a brief pullback to the 8 and then move back up again. Whoops. But when you get some indecision like that, the market doesn't know if it wants to go up or wants to go down. So those dojis give you a bit of an indication. Here's one here, followed by, well, here's almost three dojis, except this was an inverse hammer. And then we had the big drop. So be careful on those doji candles. They can signal the beginning of a little bit of a refresher where the market just feels there's an opportunity to pull back and buy stocks at a cheaper price. Not that there's anything wrong with the market. Earnings were good. It's just always nice to be able to buy stocks at a cheaper price, and that's what the professionals do. The volatility index continues to bounce right off of our complacency line. Apple was down a little bit. ZI pulled back. Now the stocks that I've been tracking and that I'm holding, Square had a pretty good day today. It did get up to the 138.2, yesterday's high, pretty much exactly where it was yesterday, and then came down just ahead of the double top and then pulled back up over the 123.6. Now that's not an important ratio. I would rather look at the, as you know, the 127.2. So I'm just going to take that out. And where is the 127.2? It's not there. Interesting. Anyhow, 138.2 is the key one. NIO, another stock that I'm holding, had a great day today. Look how it just powered up and finished near its high. Let's look at the 5-minute, and you can see a little bit of a pullback at the beginning, and then it just roared higher. And it was only held back initially by R2 resistance, and then Woody's R3 resistance right here proved to be critical resistance. Now a stock that I day traded today, but because I didn't have access to my computer, I day traded it from my phone using Thinkorswim on my phone. And I said yesterday that if the stock pulled back a little bit at the open, I would see an opportunity to buy. It was moving up in the pre-market. I did actually buy a little bit in the pre-market, which I tweeted out, and too bad my trades aren't showing up here, but 300 shares in, dollar trailing stop, ended up getting kicked out. Did another 300 shares, put in a 50-cent trailing stop, ended up getting kicked out. Did the same thing with a 40-cent trailing stop, ended up getting kicked out. My final price of getting kicked out was at $17.09, which is right down here. So you can see that I missed the best part of the day. And if I had been in front of my computer, I would have traded the Woody's pivots, and I would have gotten out at R2, which turns out that I almost did. I didn't quite hit it to the top, but I certainly would have gotten in on the beginning of this candle, and then taken it up to the R3, and you can see it just shot way above the R3, and I probably would have gotten out at this point. And it really didn't give me a chance to get in again. It came back to the 8. That might have been a day trader's opportunity to get back in again and then ride it up to the R4. So can this stock do it again tomorrow? Well, probably not. Look at this. We had this big 70% increase, followed by this pullback, followed by this move, and then this powerful move. I don't know what's driving VERU. The only reason we were looking at it was because of this bull flag and because Trader Stewie liked the pattern, and it's turned out to be great. So on the 300 shares 3 times, I made $541. Left a lot of money on the table, but I consider that to be not bad for sitting on your couch with your smartphone in your hand. Plug is another stock that I have today. It has broken out of this pennant now and moved above the previous high, but did pull back. What else? We've talked about Square, we've talked about NIO. Let's just talk about one more. Is there one more go to in here? WWR took my eye off it today. Yesterday it had this great up to 23.6. Now this is, I flipped the Fibonacci's upside down here. This would be more like, anyways, you flip them. I don't want to waste your time. This is a stock that we'll take a look at tomorrow. And let's watch for an alert right here. And let's put that alert at 10:59, right there. So if it moves above today's opening, might be an opportunity to buy it as it moves up to these 2 Fibonacci levels. What else? Anything else? Just SONO for fun. Unbelievable stock. That's all for today. Kept it under 7 minutes. Tomorrow, because of the McClellan oscillator, had that pullback, but not a significant one under the overbought line. We could see a little bit more of a pullback. The S&P only finished down by 4. Its high of the day was, let's take a look at the S&P here. Its high of the day was registered right here, just going into the close. Right here at 334, it registered its high, and then there was some pullback. But if you look at the Ichimoku, support, support, Chiku span finished underneath the candles on the 5-minute. What does that tell you about tomorrow? The candles are moving up, so the Chiku span has an opportunity to move up with price and hit the top of the cloud and possibly break through. So watch that. Let's look at it on the 1 hour. Do we see anything there? Nothing really. We just see above the 8 EMA, and on the 15-minute, not so much. So 50-50 tomorrow. If we move up, it'll only be to yesterday's point in the McClellan oscillator. If we move down, I don't expect it to be a big drop.